How do I get underground, which is where I seem to need to go? I have no clue how to get underground. Okay, you seem to go from the water outside. Is this inside like that waterfall or something? I don't know where I'm going. Okay, no way in there. Ah, yes, this waterfall. I see.
Up and away.
Alrighty, we're in. Shamal? There's more water in here than before. Maybe I'll have to swim in next time. Okay. Can you not walk in a fudging straight line? My word, kid. What huge claw marks and paw prints. Like some huge wild beast left them behind. Yeah, huge, right? Has something been in here? Is that what we're trying to insinuate? Come on, kid. What you getting stuck for? This is it. It's the clue I wanted to show you before. Right here. I don't really see much. I guess the whole point of the entire mural is obstructed. What on Tavad is that? It's so covered in moss that Paimon can't make heads or tails of it. Why don't you clean the moss off? There wasn't any moss the last time I came here. No need to worry, little Mal. It's so humid here that it's no wonder there's moss growing everywhere. There must be a way to clear it away. Clean the mural. Moss came loose. That's a weird way to clear a mural. What is that? Is that the jade piece? Look, Lunara, look. It's a scene of ancient people attending a festival. How do you know it's a festival? And performing a ritual. Pretty different from the festivals we have today, huh? How do you know it's a festival? How do you know it's a ritual? It could be somebody sending off a dearly departed soul. Well, the grown-ups in the city and the village all say that the Lord of Geo was the first to arrive in Tunnuvel. I've heard that the people in the picture actually got here even earlier than he did. Perhaps people back then used to throw bits of magic jade into the river, and they'd float along until they sank to the bottom. They saw it as a way to guarantee good weather, prevent the river from flooding, and ensure that the soil would be fertile. Based on what we previously discussed, I'm guessing that Tunnuvel will only be fixed after we've found some jade that was thrown into the river in ancient times. That makes sense, doesn't it? Wow, you're so knowledgeable. Was your friend also the one who told you these stories? You rule, little Mal. That's first-class guide material right there. These legends are fascinating. Yep, and everyone will be really blessed and live happily ever after and all that. But I prefer hearing her stories about ancient wars and battles. She told me that the warriors back then were all giants who were over 10 feet tall. The warriors of Tunnuvel were covered in tattoos, and they had these massive jade axes that could chop a person in half in the blink of an eye. And the Millelith, led by none other than the Lord of Geo himself, were even tougher. They clad themselves in suits of armour that weighed over 1,000 pounds, I highly doubt that, and fought with 100-pound spears, I also doubt that. Apparently, everyone was at war back then, so much so that the Basui River turned crimson red. Later on, the mountains to the south became full of ghosts from that era. Even now, those who wander through the mountains might still be able to catch their singing on the wind. Yikes, scary stuff. Cover your ears, Mini Pie. I don't think these stories are meant for kids. Who's Mini Pie? Hot Montanese. I don't remember how to pronounce it. Right, though, if you constantly think about this stuff, you'll turn into a villain when you're older. There's no way grown-ups would tell these stories. They always say we're too young to hear them, that they'll turn us rotten, stuff like that. They'll turn us rotten? What takeaways do they think you'll have from these stories? But I'm old enough already. Hearing a story is not going to turn me into a monster. I don't know why it would. Besides, there aren't many adults still around who know these stories anyway. If my friend hadn't told me, I wouldn't even have known the stories about this picture. Who's this friend of yours, by the way? Who's this friend of yours that keeps telling you these things? Why are they so knowledgeable? Okay, fine then. Guess I'll move on, unless he means the carp lady. So, the Greynuts are right to say that those ancient people threw the jade into the river from somewhere high up. But where exactly? And where did all the jade float off to? Well, it must have sunk to the bottom, right? It's not that simple. If it was thrown in somewhere upriver, and even if it sank to the bottom, it would still be pushed downriver by the current, let alone after so many years. Besides, I've never heard talk of any ancient ritual jade being found upriver. Tinley Vale is a small place after all. If there had been such rumours, everyone would already know about them. He, you know so much. Your future scholar material, that's for sure. He. But what if I don't want to be a scholar? They don't earn much more, and it sounds like no fun. Then become a traveller just like us. What could be more fun than adventuring around the world? Seeing as we know the next site of the Rain Jade Rite. Is he just making that up, or does he actually know that's the name of the rite? What should we do next? Why don't we go look somewhere high up and take a look? How is that going to help you? If there's jade at the bottom of a river, going up high is not going to show you where the jade is. Let's observe how the river flows. If you want to see how the river flows, maybe it would be a good idea to try the tall watchtower over at Yilong Wharf. You're a clever one, Miss Paimon. Of course. Okay, let's head out. Let's head out. All right. Autobots, roll it. Did I turn my music back on, by the way? Because I cannot hear any music. Yeah, I did. Oh, I can faintly hear it now. Barely. It's because the music in combat's so loud. That's why I have to turn this down. Oh, there we go. That's coming in. Look, from up here you can clearly see how the water moves faster through those narrows, then slows down again as the river widens out. Jade must have stopped there. Bro, that's called water is it water migration? That's how water moves. It goes faster through the narrow passages. That's normal. Why would you assume that the jade is there? It doesn't make sense. Make it make sense. We should find what we're looking for there. I highly disagree. Wow, you're such a real whiz kid. To explain, if it goes through a narrow path and then widens out, as it goes into the wide spot, it will still be fast because it's trying to fill a massive space. But as it's filled with the massive space, it doesn't need to continue to go fast, so it slows down. Especially if it's joining another river, which I'm not saying this is, but if it joins another river, it slows down even more. Wow, you're such a real whiz kid. Paimon's been wondering though, what's that massive thing in the distance? That huge thing is the Jade Mouth, a legendary jade ring that an Adeptus threw into the water. Well, it didn't end well, did he? Because it's suspended above the water. Oh, but the river curves around there, so the current should actually speed up. But the river gradually gets wide there. Yeah, so the rapid flow around the bend might have resulted in things being deposited along the convex bank where it widens. So there's actually a good chance that the jade is at the bottom of the river, somewhere around Jade Mouth. Of course, that's assuming that the course of the river hasn't been artificially altered. I mean, that's also assuming that it was tossed into the river upriver of this position. If it was thrown into the river downriver of here, it ain't gonna be here, kid. Not to mention, there's a fisherman's legend that goes something like, jades shall rise from sunken mouth, or something like that. Anyway, let's go over and take a look around first. Compared to Shamal, Paimon feels like she's completely out of her depth. It's because my friend is amazing. She knows everything there is to know about the mountains, and she's taught me loads too. That's how I've learned so much. Sorry, Paimon, you just need better friends. You are unfit for duty, Mini Pie. As a young lady, I am most disappointed. Don't worry too much about it, Paimon. Lunara, has the rarefied mountain air or miasma gone to your head or something? Or does the adeptal energy you used have side effects? You're behaving pretty strangely. Honey, you know exactly who I'm imitating. Whatever the case, let's go down and get on a bamboo raft. Ho ho, yeah, Jade Mouth, here we come. Why can't we just swim? I know it's a savage way of approaching things, but it's really very simple. Hello, sir. Bosu? Someone coming aboard? Wait, is that you, Shama? Come, I'll take you. Alright, Birdman, take us to the Jade Mouth. Alright, Jade Mouth it is. The other two, you're tourists? Well, anyway, if you're here for sightseeing... Hey, you could say that. Mr. Boatman, are there any stories about the Jade Mouth that I haven't heard before? Knowing you and how much you love your stories, kiddo, you must have heard them all by now. By the way, who's paying for this boat trip? Tell me more. I just love it first sight. Alright then. Well, I've heard it mentioned that the Jade Mouth was left behind by Rex Lappers when he marched through here to save the people of Chutney Vale. Legend has it that to prevent a naval advance from downstream, the local adepti... You're making up as you go again, Gramps. There's no way that Leo's navy came up this river. I've heard that the Jade Mouth was formed by a piece of jade left behind by a giant carp. In those days, a baddie god tried to redirect the river to drown the middle of the station on both of the banks in Chutney Vale, but a giant white snake and a giant carp who were her subordinates disobeyed her orders. The giant white snake held up the baddie god, and while the giant carp... She threw the jades she wore here. The jades pinned the river down, and ever since, we've had no more floods, and everyone can live peaceful lives on both sides of the river. You might understand a lot, kiddo, but you haven't seen this much. Take a closer look. There aren't any crops by this river. I was going to say the same thing. See, after it was pinned down by the jades, it's true that the river hasn't flooded, but that's also meant it hasn't been able to provide irrigation for crops. I was absolutely going to say that because of the scene of the Nile. So what was once a wide, gently flowing river is today a narrow something or other. Such a river leaves no sustenance for the earth on its banks. And of course, that means no people living peacefully lies on both sides. Paimon gets it now, but did you just say that the Adepti were resisting the Lord of Geo, little Mal? That's how it was, all that time ago. Some people believe that the first Lord of all Liyue was Rex Lappers, but in Chutney Vale, we believe that before he came, there were other gods and Adepti who protected our ancestors. I've heard Grandpa Lou say that the tea ceremony is actually for the Carp Adeptus who planted our first tea tree. But aren't those Adepti meant to be the baddies? They were serving under a baddie god after all. And some stories are the baddies, while in others are the goodies. But it was all such a long, long time ago. Even the grown-ups don't remember much, so they always try to bluff me. Talking about that friend of yours again. How can such supernatural beings be held to our simple codes of right and wrong? As far as we're concerned, all the forces that have ever blessed and protected this land deserve our offerings. Ah, there you go again. Ha ha ha. Alright, then time to get off. We're here. Thanks, Gramps. I'm too busy yawning. That actually went way too quickly. My here's is the Jade Mouth. And why am I wet? Such a huge chunk of jade. Even the other pieces on it are massive. Whoever threw it down, Adeptus or not, must have been absolutely titanic. Adepti come in all shapes and sizes. They could be as tall as the clouds or small enough to hide amongst pool and leaf. Ugh. How did the rest of it go again? Anyway, you get the picture, Paimon. Well, here's the jade mouth, but how are we going to find all that jade underwater? Ah, so that's how it is. The spring's cries ripple through the vales, the shrines depart from northeast shores. The heights and shallows in the southwest hide, sun and earth from each other divide. The eternal whirlpool that never churns, the beautiful jade concealed within. That doesn't even rhyme! What's that Shamal singing about? It sounds pretty complicated. No, it just doesn't rhyme. It rhymed to start off with, and then it just stopped. It's one of our local folk songs. I heard an old granny singing it as she was gathering herbs. It means, if you look out from the centre of the river to the banks on either side, you'll see two stone shrines hidden to the northeast and the southwest. The shrines keep the mighty whirlpool in the centre suppressed. Paimon understood the last bit, so the jade is all hidden beneath the whirlpool? Yep, since we're going to treasure hunting, hooray! Yeah, but what, are you trying to encourage the whirlpool? But the area between the northeast and southwest is so huge. After all, in a broad sense, the northeast and southwest of Jade Mouth can include pretty much the whole world. You're always thinking outside the box, Miss Paimon, but there's no need to worry. I already have an idea where the shrines will be because, well, my friend told me. Come on, let's roll. Why does he want to roll? Hold it for a second, I apparently have a question. Does anyone else think a giant maelstrom suddenly appearing here might not be too great? Yeah, I was going to say that, but I wanted to make sure that that was the plan we were going for. Why can't we just swim to the bottom of the river? Because if the maelstrom had collected the jade once upon a time, and then the maelstrom was suppressed, the jade would just be at the bottom of where the maelstrom was. If you know where the maelstrom was, i.e. in the middle here, as you say, why not just swim down there and check it out? Why do we have to encourage a whirlpool in this nice calm river that we may not be able to suppress again. Oh yeah, won't that mean that boats will no longer be able to sail in and out of Yulong Wharf? Oh, don't worry about that. My friend told me that once we're done what we need to beneath the whirlpool will disappear completely. Why would it? Why? Otherwise, how would all the old boatmen carry on making a living? That makes absolutely no sense. I don't see how a piece of jade at the bottom of the river is causing the whirlpool. The whirlpool seems more like a natural phenomenon, given tides and currents. Wow, so it's not just a smart whirlpool, but a considerate one to boot. Let's get going then. I don't think any whirlpool could be considered considerate. Okay, so I guess we're looking for the shrines, question mark? Yes. Well, I don't really know where we're going. Short of just this way. Is this the shrine? What's, ooh, that bright energy doesn't look good. Yes, I take the pine cones. Investigate. I'm investigating. Define investigate. Oh, over here. How about we try using adaptable energy, Lunara? Wrong button. Well, guess that settles it. I'll take your word for it. Oh, you're amazing. And my friend couldn't do anything about the
firework
shrines.
materials in here?
Hee, you got that right. Got what right? There's something glowing there in between the pearls. What pearls? 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 What are you talking about? What pearls? Huh? What? There's jade here, dear. What pearls are you talking about? Paimon? I think Paimon's lost the plot. Sorry, gentlemen. Believe you're in my way.
My guiding stars. Oh, mine. Yoo-hoo! Let my name echo in song. Time for a light show. That didn't count.
Ow. Oh, reinforcements. Okay,
Go
that's the thing.
I swear by my sword. Not now.
Ooh, hi.
Don't be scared.
She shall hear the
Let
song.
the world collide. Fire hazard.
Okay. We've been made. These mugs are regular heat pack and Brunos. Dust something off. Guys, pipe down, please. Wow, she really was right about you. I missed the second part.
What do we
Naturally.
have here?
Right, I guess back to the jade. Where do you actually want me to go? Up here? Again? Yep. Huh, we haven't seen the whirlpool from the song yet. What should we do next? How about giving that adaptable energy of yours a try, Lunara? On what? This? Okay. Don't mind if I do. This is such a bad idea. Quick, look, the bubbles appeared, just like the song said. This is such a bad idea. How are we going to get out? Hello, Mr. Carp. Like the legend says, a magic carp. See you again, Adeptus Fujin. Fujin? Ooh. See what happens when you explore? You get chests. Well, that's rude.
My guiding stars! Stars, shower me with praise! A festive reprise!
Yay, you dropped something. Mine.
What do we have here?
Primogems. That's what we have here. Okay, Fujin, I'm coming. Sort of, maybe. Slowly. Wow, we glitched for a second there. What was that about? Okay, after you, dear. It's like following a Sealy, but worse. I feel like the Sealies are quicker. Oh, hello. Don't mind if I do. Aren't I sure it's still a bajillion teleport waypoints? Oh wait, don't we have this entire area to unlock? I forgot about that. Wait, this is quite a big place. Tenlong Cleft. Where does that go? Interesting. Whoa. Almost missed a path there. Oh, this jade goes up. Lunara and Paimon, we meet again. And who might this be? Huh? You haven't met before? Mr. Shamal. He's helped us so much along the way. No, we haven't met before, but you must be a good child. Shamal. Hello, and yes, that's me. Miss, are you an Adeptus? You are, aren't you? This is Adeptus Fujin. He. Thanks for all the help you've given Lunara and Paimon, Shamal. It's really the legendary Fujin in the flesh. I can't believe this. I've heard so many stories about you, and now I know that you're not some kind of big slippery carp, but a lady instead, like a big sister. Oh god. We're gonna call her Didier? Big carp? Honestly, what kind of stories have you been listening to, Lashamal? One is indeed an Adeptus, and as such, can take forms as one pleases. I still think she needs pupils. This particular form seemed like the most approachable for one conversing with humans. From what you've said, you have a very unique scent, Shamal. Have you met someone in the mountains before? Someone with golden eyes and a fair complexion, perhaps? Not exactly. Yeah, Fujin Didier. You're not talking about one of your other friends, are you? My friend from the mountains doesn't sparkle like you do, but she's also really cool. She's helped me tons and taught me loads. So it was her after all. So your friend was an Adeptus Fujin after all, huh? But Fujin Didier is my friend too now, isn't she? Of course, Shamal. I'm delighted to have made friends with you. Way to go, Shamal. You've met 2 Adepti. So Shamal's met other Adepti. As for whether Shamal's friend counts as an Adeptus or not, I'm not quite sure myself. After all, Adeptus is merely a title, and it's hard to say whether Adepti are even people. I feel like you're pulling with semantics like here, dear. Just give me a straight answer. The word Adeptus is just like any other word, such as hero, villain, or idiot. No one is born an Adeptus, and no one shall remain an Adeptus forever. I don't know that I agree with the latter. Or the former, for that matter, actually. That's true. So you've met that friend of Shamal's that we're talking about, right? Indeed. But it's been a long, long time since I last saw her. So now, I suspect that I don't even know her half as well as Shamal does. I'm not even sure if I still count her as friend. As her friend. According to what Shamal said, his friend wants to restore nature. 2. I would imagine so. Anyway, I must ask you all to please take this piece of votive rain jade. I had originally hoped that it might remain here. Oh, you mean the big ball? The same as it ever was, but I never expected it to go quite so large. I used to love it so. Are you saying you don't love it because it grew in size? Wow. This rain jade that you just mentioned, did it rain down or make it rain or something? Of course not. After the great changes in our geology, the ancestors of the people of Tenyu Vale lost their ability to communicate with the heavens and lost the guidance of emissaries whose beauty was as pure as moonlight. Henceforth, they began to take jade, which glowed as gently as the light of the moon, and cast it into the river. As they did this, they would pray for good omens, for fertile land, for clement weather, and for their river banks to hold strong. Over time, these rituals grew in power until one day. Votin Didier, what happened next? One day, the long war to become the gods who would reign over this world began. Afterward, the tradition lost all of its meaning, but though it was forgotten, the name is still passed down over generations. To cut a long story short, TLDR guys, this piece of votive rain jade before us was the very last one ever to be thrown. Just as the part above the surface, when commanded by an adeptal art, can be made large enough to stop a flood, its core, too, has been swollen by uncontrolled adeptal energy. Much of its power is dissipated into the surrounding area through the spirit veins. This power may also have affected the nearby flora and fauna, attracting and even making aberrations of them. You must be careful. Why does my game keep hitching? What? As far as I can tell, the adeptal energy that has dissipated nearby should be sufficient to reawaken the hibernating votive rain jade. If that is the case, we're one step closer to achieving our goal of nursing the water and soil back to health. How should I say this? Lunara and Paimon, thank you both. You're doing an amazing thing by choosing to help me, you know. And Shalmal, will you help me too? Will you help out your Jedje? Of course, I want to restore nature too. Is that so? Well, that's good. You're very smart, Shalmal. You'll understand everything later. All right, then let us go our separate ways for now. Where's the music? Once you've retrieved the adeptal energy-filled votive rain jade, we'll meet again by a deep pool shrouded in... Wait, what? A deep pool shrouded in cloud and mist to the south. That is so vague. Can't you give me specific directions, like a name? The south? Got it. She's gone and disappeared again. Ah well, let's just do what Fudin Jedia said and restore this votive rain jade's power. Speaking of which, what's it got to do with voting? So it was votive. See, you're not that much brighter than Paimon. It's votive, not voting. Oh, right. It's so complicated. Not really. Though, since you mentioned it, what does votive even mean? And why is it called rain jade again? I can't tell you the answer for that. Exactly, what does it mean? I don't know what it's called rain jade. Let's follow the editor's instructions and search... something. Okay. Am I looking for the green bits? Because there's a green bit here.
Up
That
and away.
probably disappeared. Okay. Guess that ain't it. Oh, hello.
The night is cold.
Yada,
night.
you too.
Yoo-hoo! The fuse is lit.
Whoa, this jar, it suddenly got bigger. Is this the adeptal energy Fujin was speaking of? Or something along those lines? Alrighty. One. Oh, that's not what I was looking for. But I'll take it. Is there anything here? Oh, there's something here. I guess the green doesn't mean anything. The green's just a green until you go past it. Oh, there was more? Jesus! Don't mind if I do. Holy hell. Okay, so I guess we used up all its energy? Winning. Monsters, watch out!
Stars, shower me with praise.
How can it do that when it's dead? Weirdo. I'd like to know when my game is hitching. It doesn't normally do that. It's rather annoying. So where did we come from? Up there. That means we haven't done over here, right? Up on this ledge here. We must backtrack.